Here to hunt invasive North American beavers with my good friend Claudio Flores. We not only had a fantastic few days of hunting, but we also had the privilege of camping right at the edge of everywhere. And things started off well with a nice close shot at a jackrabbit. This was really straightforward, crosshairs on the brain, squeeze the trigger and down he goes. But although things start off smoothly, it doesn't get any easier as the wind starts to pick up and we quickly realize that we probably didn't bring the right tools for the job. To say that the wind was tricky would be a serious understatement. This was like extreme bench rest all over again, except further and with no sighter targets. And to make it even trickier, most of these rabbits are in the hilly areas and across valleys, which makes it very difficult for us to get close. And the valleys also channel the wind so badly, in fact, that on some of these shots the pellet was drifting 5 mils in the wind. That's almost a meter at this range.
Oh, wow, 1 meter.
Right, well, we're struggling. It could have been as simple as driving back to the house, fetching the impact and heading straight back out, but Claudio had something else on his agenda, and you'll definitely want to see this because it is extremely interesting. Claudio and I have many things in common, and one of those things is an appreciation for really good quality equipment. You only need to look at Claudio's set of guns and the scopes that he has to see that. I mean, he's got like Schmidt and Bender US optics scopes on his air guns, which are really top end scopes. So he obviously appreciates really good quality. And one of the things that he noticed was that the pellets that he was buying were a bit damaged, or that, he wasn't happy with the quality of the tins of pellets he was buying. So what's the solution to that? Well, he just bought his own swaging press and got swaging dies from HM Hen in China. And I know a lot of you would think that China is not good quality, but these things are honestly the best quality swaging dies I've ever seen. So what we're going to do now is we are going to actually make our own pellets. We're going to make some 30 cal pellets that I'm going to use later today, and Claudio might make some slugs for his 357 American Air Arm Slayer, but we'll see how we go. Let's show you what we do. For our afternoon hunt, we decided to change things up a little bit. Instead of the big open fields we'd hunted in earlier, we choose a spot that is much greener and thicker, hoping that the trees will not only shelter us from the wind, but also allow us to stalk in a bit closer. There are sounds of rabbits everywhere, but the thick vegetation is proving to be quite difficult, as the rabbits we do spot tend to see us long before we see them, and are spooked down their holes before we get an opportunity to shoot. Well, we're now just walking through a section here that's very different to what we were hunting earlier. Earlier we were hunting in very open areas where we needed to take very long shots. It's very thick over here and lots of hills and lots of long grass. Because we're spotting rabbits quite close, the moment we see them we've got to very quickly take a shot, and that can be quite difficult, especially when you've got someone filming on the camera. But beautiful area, lots of thick trees, lots of long green grass. There's a river running past us here, so even though we haven't managed to shoot anything this morning, it's great to just be out here. It's been really, really cool. All we can do is keep on moving slowly, hoping for an opportunity, and eventually we do get one from about 60 meters. Finally. We've been walking in this thick stuff for a long time. It's been really frustrating. Claudio's eyes are much better than mine when it comes to rabbits. His eyes are obviously trained to see them, spot their shapes in the grass and stuff. But I've just been completely outsmarted. Every time we seem to spot one, by the time we get set up, they're gone. And I had a shot earlier where I had an awkward position and I tried to shoot and I just pulled it at the last moment from a standing shot. This time I got it. Standing shot, probably about 50-60 meters, held about 1.5 miles over, and pellet killed it nicely, so I'm very happy with that. We decided to just keep quiet for a while and see if there are any more rabbits in the area, and a few minutes later this guy pops up right in front of me. I have to take a rushed offhand shot, but I time my trigger pull well and it does the job. Slight change of tactics. We've been walking around a lot and it's been really tough on these close shots because the rabbits spot us before we spot them, and there's just no time to set up for the shot. They're gone. So we're gonna wait on top of this hill. There's a nice grassy spot out in the sun at the bottom. We're hoping the rabbits will actually come out into the open and present us with shots. So we're actually just sitting down and enjoying the scenery and enjoying the sun that's just come out. And waiting. It's a waiting game. Hopefully it turns out good, but even if we don't get anything here, it's great to just be out here in nature and appreciate everything. There's birds all over the place, a lot of birds of prey actually. I'm guessing their staple diet is rabbit. But yeah, it's good to just be able to appreciate nature, and if we get a rabbit, that's a bonus. Now it's just a waiting game as we relax a bit in the shade and keep an eye out for movement in the valley below. Claudio keeps scanning the grass with his rangefinder, and eventually we get an opportunity from about 73 meters. And again, it's a miss. The main camera replay looks pretty dismal, but through the scope cam you can see just how close it was. That pellet just passed over the top of his head, and I do blame myself for this one because the wind call was pretty good, but I just didn't hold over correctly. I get another opportunity shortly afterwards from 115 meters, and again it's very, very close. You can see just how much this pellet is dropping, and again, while the wind call is pretty close, I get the elevation a little bit wrong. At this point, we head back to the truck, a little disappointed, wishing we'd made more of opportunities, but on our way back we get a few more quick chances from really close, and we definitely make them count. We spot these two rabbits sticking their heads up out of a warren, and it's by far the easiest shot of the day. You can see just how hard the 30 caliber hits here. Definitely more power than I'm used to back home. The commotion brings up another pair of ears, and again, it's a pretty straightforward shot. It's funny how you can labor so hard for such a long time, only to find success as you're about to call it quits. And that's where we're going to bring this episode to a close, but it certainly isn't the end. In the next episode, we are going to conclude the Patagonia series with one last rabbit hunt with the Impact. I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to end this one with a word of thanks for the people who made this whole series possible.